Beijing accuses Micron of security risks, bans sales to big Chinese firms. Expert, we in the West were blinded to the nature of CCP. China cancels under Roger as he chooses just the right time to poke the CCP. TikTok cites the First Amendment in a lawsuit to overturn Montana State's banning of its app. Hunan Province suffers heavy rain and many places turn on sea-watching mode.
The Chinese government prohibits key Chinese infrastructure companies from buying U.S. memory chip maker Micron technology products, citing serious network security risks. On May 21st, the Cyberspace Administration of China, or CAC, declared the review found that Micron's products have serious network security risks, which pose significant security risks to China's critical information infrastructure supply chain, affecting China's national security. From that, the CAC said key Chinese information infrastructure operators are banned from buying products from the American chip giant. Reuters noted this could cover sectors from transport to finance. The statement did not detail the security threats it has detected in Micron, nor what products should fall under the ban. According to the Financial Times, the U.S. Department of Commerce said the regulatory measure had no basis in fact and objected to the decision. The Commerce Department said, this action, along with recent raids and targeting of other American firms, is inconsistent with the PRC's assertions that it is opening its markets and is committed to a transparent regulatory framework. It added that the U.S. will seek clarification from Beijing about the issue and will work with key allies and partners to address distortions of the memory chip market caused by China's actions. The CAC announcement came as Beijing recently shifted from encouraging foreign investments earlier this year to a crackdown on Western businesses based on an updated espionage law. It also arrived a day after the G7 governments strongly condemned China on a host of issues, including its economic coercion, human rights record, and expansive maritime claims. Micron chief executive Sanjay Mehrotra attended the summit. The CCP under Xi is recently painting a confusing picture. On the one hand, they claim to welcome foreign investors, but on the other hand, they are launching a campaign to control foreign companies in the name of anti-espionage activity. The Guardian cited Chris Marquis, author and professor of Chinese management at the University of Cambridge, arguing that understanding the nature of these actions requires one to dig into the Maoist roots in Chinese institutions and political economy. He said, in the West, it's very hard for people to really understand the depth of control of the Chinese Communist Party. The party sits above the government, sits above the economy, and the military even. Marquis said that up to now, CCP officials are still heavily influenced by Mao's ideology. In the late 1970s, China's regime under Deng Xiaoping opened up. So, the West hoped China's regime would eventually abandon the socialist economic model, a focus of Mao's ideology. However, recently, the CCP's actions to suppress private companies indicate that it still wants to maintain the model of state-owned economic groups as the mainstay. Marquis shared, there was this dominant theory that when you open economically, political liberalization follows. However, he added, we in the West were blinded. Based on our own natural bias, we think we have this great system, and China's regime will want to be like us, but actually not. Marquis said, Mao's ideology and dictatorship of the proletariat comes first. Reform and opening is second. This gives an indication that reforming and opening is a means for the CCP to an end. There is a line from Mao to Xi, and reform and opening was an aberration. Xi is working in the system that Mao created. Campaign governance, the party being the center of everything. Nationalism. All these resonate with Mao.
Uncle Roger gonna get cancelled after tonight.
China has banned popular Malaysian comedian Nigel Ng from its social media platforms for touching on a range of sensitive topics in his new show. Ng, more commonly recognized by his character Uncle Roger, on May 16th released a trailer of the show, which went from internet censorship in the country to the Communist Party's close surveillance of citizens and the Taiwan status. In the clip, upon learning that a member of his audience came from Guangzhou, he said, when he asked if there were Taiwanese among the crowd, a person said yes, and he sarcastically responded, "Not a real country, not a real country." He added, "This is not a political show." Uncle Roger went on about getting higher credit scores for praising Chinese leader Xi Jinping, giving a swipe at how Beijing monitors its citizens through facial recognition technology. Wrapping up, he satirically pleaded with his fans to write good reports about him, so the Communist Party won't make him disappear. To further irk the Chinese government, Ng scheduled the release of his full show on June 4th, the anniversary of the 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre. This was when the CCP mobilized troops to violently clamp down on student-led demonstrations, a historical event the CCP is keen on erasing from mainlanders' memory. According to CNN, Uncle Roger was suspended from social media platforms Weibo and Bilibili on May 19th, 3 days after the Intrepid trailer. On Weibo alone, his account already had over 400,000 followers. The show emerged around the time stand-up comedy was dreading its demise in China, when the CCP treated a mainland comedian's joke on the military with an iron fist. Not only was the performer arrested and his hiring company fined, but also a series of unrelated public events and festivals were cancelled over the week. Ng seems to be more than aware of the issue, as this is how he urged his fans not to miss his latest show on YouTube. Comrades, buy the special now before Uncle Roger gets cancelled. Watch with all the nieces and nephews together on June 4th. Long live the motherland.
TikTok is suing the U.S. state of Montana for legislation that seeks to protect user data from the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. Montana intends to outlaw the app starting next year. In a complaint filed in Montana District Court, the short video streaming platform TikTok alleges that the bill violates a set of federal laws, including the First Amendment and the Commerce Clause of the U.S. Constitution, which restricts the power of states to pass laws that excessively hinder trade across states and countries. The complaint said, this unprecedented and extreme step of banning a major platform for First Amendment speech based on unfounded speculation about potential foreign government access to user data and the content of the speech is flatly inconsistent with the Constitution. The legislation, SB 419, was signed into law by Governor Greg Gianforte on May 17th. Citing risks of compromised data, it seeks to outlaw the app from operating within the state starting January 1st, with a potential fine reaching $10,000 per day for violators. TikTok is hiring Covington & Burling, the law firm that successfully stopped the Trump administration from banning the app nationwide in 2020. The lawsuit also accuses Montana's law of illegally discriminating against TikTok. It requests the court to annul the law and stop the state from enforcing it. TikTok denied that the CCP could access American data in the complaint. However, a former executive has already used its parent firm ByteDance for that purpose. Yin Tao Yu, formerly head of engineering for ByteDance's U.S. operations between August 2017 and November 2018, alleged that the CCP could access all company data, including that stored in the United States. Nevertheless, TikTok spokesperson Brooke Oberwetter said that it is confident TikTok could prevail in the case against Montana. According to CNN, it said, "We are challenging Montana's unconstitutional TikTok ban to protect our business and the hundreds of thousands of TikTok users in Montana." On May 20th, Huaihua City, Hunan Province, was suddenly hit with torrential rain, causing many areas to be inundated, with many streets and shops flooded. In some road sections, the water level was as high as the roofs of the cars, causing traffic congestion. At 11 a.m., the Huaihua authorities issued a red rainstorm warning signal. The rainfall in many places in Huaihua City reached 2.4 inches, 60 millimeters, within 3 hours, and another 2 inches is expected. Some videos posted by netizens showed many areas in Huaihua where the water was almost 80 inches, 2 meters deep, and houses and vehicles were submerged. The streets became rivers, and cars drove slowly through the deep waters. The city's drainage system seemed to be disabled under the heavy rain, causing water to overflow into many stores. As a result, many items could be seen floating in the water. Some stormwater drains were actually adding to the flood as they were spewing large amounts of water into the streets instead of draining it away.